welcome to 3 and Out with Jason and Kevin. I am Jason. That is Kevin. We are brought to you by CincyJungle.com. And we are on, so we're kind of a few different things. We're still on the Orange and Black Insider, which is our YouTube channel. Subscribe and check that out if you haven't yet. And then we are also, the audio side is now Believe, BLEAV, Believe in Cincy, CINCY. And it's not just us. It is Anthony and John over at OBI. It's Matt Minich and Willie Lutz at, I think they're just called Matt and Willie No Ball. And then there's Talking Football, Bengal Jim and Friends. We're all on the same channel, Believe in Cincy. Again, update your RSS feeds. We're trying to build those numbers back up because we had a pretty good deal with how it was built up before. So we got to redo that. And but yeah, great stuff. We're recording tonight, Thursday night. So most people see this Friday morning. I had burgers for dinner. I'm ready to rock and roll. How you doing, Kevin?
Doing all right. We were talking about this beforehand. Every bit of me is sore because I'm almost 40 and I've decided it's time to start working out again. Been doing it religiously, and I've kind of come to the realization that at this age, I don't think it starts to feel good again. When you're young, you're working out and you're like, man, I'm getting big, I'm getting strong, I'm feeling great. I think it's just at this age, working out is just you're sore. You're just sore all the time. So that's good.
I think what you're doing is like, instead of building strength or building stamina or building health, you're just delaying death. You know what I mean? Just like pushing it away. Yeah. So you're pushing death away, but you're going to be sore. If you're going to push death away, you're going to pay for it, buddy. No, I get it, man. Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Not working out. It's just a fight. It's just a fight for a few more years.
Yep. There you go. So what we're going to do tonight is we talked about doing a way too early 53-man roster, and I think we decided to push that back because we both agree we think the Bengals might sign a guy, a running back, a corner, somewhere where there's a little bit of depth. So we're going to wait that out. What we want to do now, though, is kind of go over, like, I think, letter grade scale and just give like a preliminary letter grade of where they stood, the roster, the depth chart, stood heading into 2023 versus where it heads into 2024. Now that we're through the draft and they've done the vast majority of work they're doing in free agency. So how about we start off? You want to start off with quarterback? Just get over the main thing quickly. Not much to say, really.
Yeah. This is easy. Yeah. So we're going 2023 and then 24, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we're going from an A to an A+. I know the room didn't change. The only difference is that we started 2023 at an A because we had a top 2 quarterback. Can't ask for anything better, but we didn't know about depth. Unfortunately, Burrow got hurt. We learned about depth, and we're all very happy with it. A to A+. I don't think there's a debate here.
I was super confused about what you were saying at first because you said A to A+, and I just said nothing's changed. Nothing's different, but you're absolutely right. We had no concept what Jake Browning was last year. No idea what Jake Browning could do. And Jake Browning showed that Jake Browning can play ball. He can win a game. Burrow, let's say he just misses 2 games. You know what I mean? And those 2 games are important. I don't feel weird about Jake Browning stepping in for those 2 games. So I totally agree with you. I would go from A to A+ because we know what Jake Browning is now. So yeah, good call. And then that takes us to running back. So this one's the first one where there's a major difference. So last year it was Joe Mixon, Chase Brown, Travion Williams. I don't know if we want to include Chris Evans. He didn't play. And
are the Bengals going to include Chris Evans?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to include Chris Evans. They didn't. They have the last 3 years.
I'm not going to.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they haven't.
So last year, Joe Mixon was kind of the bell cow guy again. Chase Brown came in. He really didn't flash until the end of the year, and Travion Williams didn't do much. Wasn't a huge contributor. And then they traded Joe Mixon to the Houston Texans and brought in free agent Zach Brown. Or I'm sorry, that's totally not right. They brought in Zach Moss. Zach Brown's a singer. They brought in
Chase Brown.
Yeah, they brought in Zach Moss. He was with the Indianapolis Colts. They still have Chase Brown. They have Travion Williams, and I put Chris Evans on here, even though I don't know why. So really, the only difference here is going from Joe Mixon to Zach Moss. So what's your grade last year and this year?
I'm going to give it a B- across the board. B- last year, B- this year. I think that there's a chance the room is slightly improved because I do think Chase Brown might pop off this year. I think we saw hints of it. I'm not willing to bet on that. And I don't know what Zach Moss is going to look like in this offense. Is he a good running back or was he just a good running back last year? It's hard to know without
Right.
a lot of data on either one of them. Because we lack so much data, it's kind of just guessing. I mean, hoping. I look at Chase Brown, I see he could be really good. Um, but who knows?
Yeah.
Uh, it's a wash for me. B minus, B minus.
So it's tough because we don't know what Zach Moss is going to do. In theory, it could work out better because I think Zach Moss has a little bit more comfort level running out of the shotgun. And it was obvious that Mixon didn't like doing that. And then I think Zach Moss is a better pass blocker. At least he should be. He was.
Yes.
We know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What'd you say? I'm sorry. I didn't. Either way, we know
That
what
was it.
we know.
I just
Oh,
said
okay.
yes, we're lagging, so we're gonna have to
Oh,
deal
okay.
with it.
Yeah. So Joe Mixon, we know what Joe Mixon's not. Joe Mixon is not a pass blocker. Joe Mixon has developed an ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, but he's not a pass blocker. He doesn't like to run on a shotgun. He wants to run, with the quarterback under center. And I don't think Joe Burrow likes playing like that all the time. So I think really the big thing is we know what Joe Mixon cannot do. I'm going to say it was a B minus, and I think it is. I think it's a slight upgrade for me. I'll say B minus to B for me. So
Fair enough.
fair enough. All right, and that moves us to wide receiver. So wide receiver, it's hard to be. It's going to be hard to get out of the A's. So last year, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Andre Eusebius, Charlie Jones, Trenton Irwin. Those are the main 6 guys. That's the best wide receiver room in the NFL last year. And then really what they did this year is they
Yep.
lost T. Higgins and they added Jermaine Burton, and it makes them better. I think it makes them better. I really do. So I'm going to say A plus to A plus.
Lost
I don't know
Tyler
what
Boyd.
else to do.
Yeah.
We did lose Tyler Boyd, but I think that Jermaine Burton, I think that they have more of an ability with Jermaine Burton to show. I think Jermaine Burton's a better athlete. I think he's younger. I think he's faster. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, we're doing.
Yeah, I was going to do the same thing. A to A plus. Yeah, we are. A to A plus for me. Again, the same logic as before, really, but it's Tyler Boyd fell off a little bit last year, and his inability to play outside of the slot limited the offense to a
Right.
certain extent. It's not that he was bad in the slot. It's not that I think Burton is going to be better than him in the slot. It is that I think being able to put Jamar in the slot changes this offense. So it's an A to an A plus for me. It is an upgrade.
Absolutely. That's the big difference. It's not so much what Burton can do on the slot. It's that Burton can play somewhere other than the slot. Put Burton on the outside, put Chase in the slot. I mean, what are you going to do then?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So absolutely. A to A plus brings us to tight end. So here's another one that was really different. Last year, Irv Smith Jr., Tanner Hudson, Drew Sample, and Mitch Wilcox. Those are the only guys, worth talking about. This year, they lost Irv Smith Jr. They got Mike Gesicki. They still have Drew Sample. They re-signed him on a 3-year deal. They re-signed Tanner Hudson, but they also drafted Eric All and Tanner McLaughlin. So this is tough because a lot of the guys that I mentioned in 2024, they're not going to play. I don't know what kind of impact Tanner McLaughlin's going to have. I don't know what kind of impact Eric All is going to have because of Eric All's injury right now. He's rehabbing. Man. So last year, I'm going to say this is just a flat out D. I'll say D. And the only thing that saved is Mitch Wilcox, not Mitch Wilcox, I'm sorry, Tanner Hudson's emergence last year kind of saved it from being an F. So I'll say D. And then I'll say this year because we don't know what Eric All is going to do. We don't know what Tanner McLaughlin's going to do. They have a lot of potential, but we know what Mike Gesicki can do when he's healthy. So I say this is moved from a D. I'm going to say C plus right now. So they show me otherwise. What do you think?
We're going to go from an F to a C. And for almost everything you said, it's an F. The room last year was awful.
It was bad.
I'm not anti Tanner Hudson. I'm not. And it sounds like I am with what I'm about to say next. But the tight end room was so bad that Tanner Hudson looked like a starter to us.
I knew you were
And
gonna say that.
that's not who he is. It is what it is. We
I
all
know.
we all were like, Tanner Hudson, he's the future at the tight end position. He's
No, he's
not.
not.
He absolutely
Yeah.
isn't. He's a very good backup,
Yep. He's a
maybe.
good.
And
Yep.
that's it. But Irv Smith was so shit that we all loved Hudson. But now it's a
Yeah.
C. It's a C
Okay.
because
Yeah.
because we know what Mike Gesicki can do. That's great.
Yep.
I'm only giving partial credit for Mike Gesicki signing as a tight end because
Because
he's
he's a
mostly going to play big slot. It is what it is.
Yep.
I love Eric All. I like Tanner
Mhm.
McLaughlin. But again, they're tight ends. I do not expect,
Yeah.
even with Eric All's injuries not being part of it, I don't expect them to make a massive impact year one.
Right.
But they get credit for building out the depth. And finally, hopefully, after this year, Mike Gesicki will probably move on. And after this year, we probably don't have to talk about tight end signings for at
Yeah.
least 2 to 3
For a
years.
while. Yeah.
For that, they get a bump as well. So I'm going to a C.
Okay.
I could be convinced it's a C plus, but that's where I'm at.
I think that of all the positions on the team, of all the position groups, this is the one that you could say in 2025 goes from an F in 2023 to an A plus because of the
I think Eric
potential
Hall
that
could be that
Eric all
guy.
have. Yeah, I think so. And I think Tanner
Yeah.
McLaughlin could be really good as like a second guy. You know what I mean?
As a number 2,
But
sure.
yeah, so, yeah, put him in there with Drew Sample. I mean, Tanner McLaughlin broke Gronkowski's record for receptions at Arizona. So single season for receptions for a tight end. So I mean,
So he's probably
he's got
Gronk.
it. He's probably Gronk. He's probably a clone of Gronk, actually, exactly like Gronk. No, but having those two guys, I could see by the end of next year saying, hey, that was a big deal bringing those two guys in. So
sure.
and then this is yeah. So I'm excited about that. And then this is the last one for the offense, the offensive line, and we're going to go through maybe just the starters really and a couple other key guys. So the starters last year: Orlando Brown Jr. left tackle, Cordell Volson left guard, Ted Karras center, Alex Kappa right guard, and then Jonah Williams at right tackle. And then your swing tackle was Jackson Carman, right? Your swing tackle, Jackson Carman, yeah. And the big interior guys that helped you out in the middle are Cody Ford, had some versatility to play in the middle, and Trent. It's bad, not any depth in the interior of the offensive line.
Still isn't,
which is still a problem, yeah. And then offensive line in 2024, it's Orlando Brown Jr., left tackle, Volson left guard, Karras center, Kappa right guard, and then Trent Brown at right tackle, and Amarius Mims as a swing tackle, and then Jackson Carman and Cody Ford is still probably on the team, possibly. Still, interior depth is an issue. Matt Lee, I think, is worth mentioning. He was a 7th round draft pick, but I don't think he's going to do anything this year. I think he could be the center of the future. But
I don't.
That doesn't mean anything in 24. No,
I do not expect us to see him except in incredibly dire circumstances, which doesn't
right.
suggest that Matt Lee might low key be my favorite pickup of the draft, but he doesn't move the needle much for me this year, and unfortunately, neither does Mims.
Not this year.
I'm going to go from last year it was a C minus to this year it's a C plus.
Okay.
Because you only get so much credit for. I'm not saying it was the wrong move. Let me be clear here. Drafting Mims, I think, was the right move. And I think there's a very real scenario where week 10, either Brown or Trent or one of the two Browns goes down. And we're so happy we got Mims. Regardless, we're so happy we got Mims next year. But as far as moving the needle is concerned, as of right now, he's a depth piece. You do not get a ton of credit for moving the needle as far as position value is concerned for that. I do think Trent Brown was a massive addition. So that is mostly where the bump goes for me. They would get a huge bump if they had any depth whatsoever on the interior, but they don't. So I'm still pretty shaky on this O-line. I think it's better. I'm not certain it's elite. I've seen people like projecting it as like a top 10 O-line. I think we're going to end up being, 15 to 12, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't wow me.
So I'm going to say they went from a C minus to a B minus. And the reason I'll tell you why. So first of all, you signed a new right tackle in Trent Brown to replace Jonah Williams, who I think is an upgrade at the right tackle position, and then you turned around and you drafted Amarius Mims, and now you have maybe the best. I don't. Okay, I'm not gonna. You know what? Yeah, I will say that the best swing tackle in the league, possibly, or the most talented swing tackle in the league. You know what I mean? 99% of offensive tackles taken at number 18 overall are going to start game one. He's not. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think he's the most talented swing tackle in the league. I do worry about the depth on the interior offensive line. They didn't do anything to address it other than Matt Lee, who just kind of weirdly fell into their lap, but he's probably not going to do much this year. Say
Yeah.
probably because he's not. He's just not. But yeah, the only thing I can
Dalton
think of is
Reisner
that,
is still just out there.
well, yeah, we talked about that a little bit before we started started recording. But the only thing that I can think of is that their idea is we have Mims to be the swing tackle, and Cody Ford and Jackson Carman, who have experience on the outside and inside, are both going to be interior backups. But we don't have who's Trent Brown. Well, I mean, I would say who the backup center is, but Matt Lee probably. So yeah, it's just I don't know. It didn't get as good. It's not going to be it's not a top 10 unit, like you said. But I do think it deserves a B minus. I do, just because Mims makes a big deal, is a big improvement, I think.
But is your swing tackle, is having a great swing tackle that big of an improvement?
Well,
because here's my argument: is we just created a right tackle in the aggregate, because Trent Brown's almost certainly going to get hurt. It's what he does,
right?
And Mims needs time to develop. So Trent Brown starts for 8 to 10 games, hopefully, and then Mims probably takes over. Trent Brown may or may not come back after missing some time, but maybe Mims shows he can be the guy and he takes over from there on out.
Yeah.
Regardless, our biggest signing in the offseason and our first round pick just created a single position that we can count on right tackle.
I know, but let's say
it's a future pick. I'm not complaining about it either. I want to make that clear. Mims is a pick to secure the future. I'm just talking about what it affects today.
So the only thing I can say to that is, let's say they're in a very similar situation they were, and they went to the playoffs, when they went deep in the playoffs in 2022, and they lost Jonah Williams to injury. They lost, who else did they lose? They lost they lost both starting tackles, I think. They lost one guard.
I can't remember.
In the span of a couple weeks.
And that line was so bad. 4 of the 5 people on that line never played again.
Right. But like with the injuries that happened at the end of the 2022 season, with Jonah Williams going out, all that stuff, Amarius Mims, I agree that he's redundant, but it's a redundancy that has screwed us over. Not having that redundancy has screwed us over for 2 years in a row. And I think that maybe they're saying, hey, maybe that's the piece. Maybe that's as we have everything. We have the quarterback, we have the wide receivers, we have. Maybe what we need is the depth on the offensive line, because some of these big boys aren't making it to 17 games. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it improves it for me.
I get that. I think we're just ranking it different ways. I would stick with my C plus, because my argument would simply be that it's a C plus with Trent Brown at right tackle, and by drafting Mims, they've just ensured that the line stays a C plus should either Orlando Brown or Trent Brown go down.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and then I think I think we're just looking at it one through a practical lens and one through hypothetical lens. You know what I'm saying? So they're very two different things, but I get what you're saying. So all right, so that moves us on. Yeah, on the defensive line, this is another one that's different. I think this will be interesting to see how we grade this one. So the starting 4.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to say, man.
Yeah, I don't know either. I didn't really think about it until I looked at it. So Trey Hendrickson, DJ Reader, BJ Hill, and then Sam Hubbard are starting 4. And then they're the guys that rotate in. They have Joseph Osai, Miles Murphy, who was the first round pick last year. And then guys that rotate in the middle. I mean, I didn't write them down on this ticker if you're watching. But it's help me out here. I mean, we didn't have a lot of
Zach Carter. Zach Carter would have been the one that Chris Jenkins is replacing. Tupo.
Yeah. Josh Tupo is who I was trying to think of, because DJ Reader went down last year. So DJ Reader went down to injury. He ends up signing with the Detroit Lions. The Bengals still have Hendrickson, Hill, and Hubbard. They brought in Sheldon Rankins as a free agent, who's totally different almost polar opposite from DJ Reader. They still have Murphy and Osai, but they also drafted Chris Jenkins in the second and McKinley Jackson in the third. So their front. So if you just compare the starting four, last year, Hendrickson, Reader, Hill, and Hubbard, that's a really good starting four defensive line, especially with the way Hendrickson played last year. Hubbard's good at everything. DJ Reader is the best nose tackle, run stuffing nose tackle that can play a 4-3 defense. And BJ Hill is just a great complement to Reader. With no depth in the interior of the offense or the interior of the defensive line, when Reader got hurt or didn't play well, we just got run over all year last year. Couldn't stop the run. So Sheldon Rankins is not really known as a run stuffer. He's more of an interior pass rusher. Not to say they can't do it, but I don't see him as a. There is no DJ Reader replacement, is what I'm trying to say. There is no DJ Reader on this team. Instead, they have replaced DJ Reader with three guys: Sheldon Rankin, McKinley Jackson, and Chris Jenkins. So to give this unit a grade last year, I'd say B minus. I wouldn't. I actually say B plus last year, and then this year I think B. I don't know. It's tough. What do you think?
I think you are misremembering how bad it was. Not great. It was shaky the moment Depth touched the field. We got ran over. It is what it is.
Okay.
I love Reader. He is not replaceable. He is a blue chip player. The moment you lose one, your team feels it. Period.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that by raising the floor, even though the ceiling has fallen, that we can maintain some semblance of a D line. But this floor is going to be shaky. It's going to be held up by two rookies. I think both have a lot of potential. I think the idea that Osai is going to break out this year is starting to become a little bit laughable. I'm not saying it's his fault, but we all need to accept that that's probably not going to happen. It just isn't. And because of that, it's very, very hard to project where this line is going to fall. I give the D line a C plus, and I keep them at a C plus. They actually should probably be less than they were, but I'm counting on one of the two new linemen to step up. Maybe Osai steps up. He won't.
Yeah.
Maybe Hubbard will play better post surgery. There's a lot of dice I'm rolling here, and I'm trusting that one of them will pay off. And if one of them does, then I think the floor raises high enough that it can make up for the lower ceiling. It's a wash. C plus.
Yeah, I can dig that. I dig it. This is really tough because you're getting rid of a guy who was injured through half the year, and then you're adding two guys that we have no concept of how they're even going to be used. But considering where they were drafted, they'll be used early. I mean, they'll be used often. Another guy, I think Miles Murphy could have a big year. I really do.
That should have been on my list.
See what he
Miles Murphy takes a big step. Who knows, man? Like, this line could pop off. If Chris Jenkins and Miles Murphy both look good, then this line could actually be pretty good.
Yeah.
If neither one of them hits, then this line could be worse than last year, and last year it wasn't that great. This is the hardest projection for me. I just don't know.
I agree. I think what I was about to say was this has the widest range of grades. I think if you were going to grade it, so it could be really good. These two rookies they grabbed are really good. Sheldon Rankins works really well. Murphy takes a step. Osai takes a step, and it could be embarrassingly bad. One of the two. I mean, it could be anywhere. So yeah, totally. This one's hard to grade. Really hard. So you did C plus to C plus?
C plus to C plus. Yeah.
And I think I did like B minus to B minus. So yeah. Okay. Linebackers kind of the same. Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt are both still here. Joe Bacci's back. They did.
Marcus Bailey's gone, but
Marcus Bailey's gone, and he's more of a special teams guy.
I do think he'll be missed, but
I do think so too.
But but he is more of a depth player. Yes.
Akeem Davis-Gaither is still here. They re-signed him, which shocked me because I figured he'd be the first linebacker out of there starting for someone else. But he's back.
Yep.
So, all right, cornerback. So last year, Chidobe
Well,
Awuzie,
hold
Cam
on, hold
Taylor.
on. I do want
Oh,
to grade
oh,
linebacker.
okay.
I know it's
Sorry,
a
sorry.
wash, but
Yeah, yeah.
as a rule, where do you think the linebacking group is? I'm not as down on it as some people. I give it a B
I'm not as
minus. I think
down on it
linebacker
because
play is very contingent with
yeah,
the surrounding, you know,
right.
players, and I think a down cornerback room and a down D line really affected them. I give
I
them
think so too.
a B. I think they're a B
I
unit.
I think they're a B unit. I think they're both borderline Pro Bowl linebackers that could be in the discussion every year. You know what I mean? I think they're
I
both
think Logan
good.
Wilson is borderline Pro Bowl. Yes.
Yeah, I think they're both really good. I think they play well together, but like you said, the linebacker is very contingent on the guys in front of them and the guys around them. So last year was tough
Yep.
for them. But yeah, I think B. I can agree with B. I can agree with that.
Okay. That's it. I
Um,
just want to give it a grade. Moving on.
yeah. All right. So now to cornerback. Last year, Chidobe Awuzie, Cam Taylor Britt, Mike Hilton, DJ Turner. Sidney Jones was signed, but I don't think he really did anything at all, right? I don't even know if he might have made the practice squad. I don't think he was on the
Yeah, I'm not
active
certain.
roster. And then in 2024, they lose Awuzie. So they have Cam Taylor Britt and DJ Turner, I'm assuming opposite, with Mike Hilton in the slot. They do have Dax Turner now, who moved from the safety room to the corner room. And then you have some of the same backups. You have guys like the
You've
guys
done this a few times. Dax Hill.
I said Dax Hill. Yeah.
No, you said Dax Turner. It's even written at the bottom.
Oops. Oh, did I say Dax Turner?
Yeah, you even wrote
I
Dax
did say
Turner.
Dax Turner. Oh my
You keep
gosh, you're
combining
right.
names. You've done it a few times now,
Yeah,
but it
you're right.
doesn't matter.
Oops. Yeah. So Dax Hill, and then they have some of the same backups that they've had. This room, again, it's a lot of experience, some experience out of the window with Awuzie. I don't know what DJ Turner's going to be able to do. He's got a lot of potential. What do you think?
I think that this is a B room and it stays a B room. Turner looked good at the beginning of the season. I feel like he fell off a little bit at the end of it. I do expect Cam Taylor Britt to be as good or better than he was last year. I'm not certain he's a true like CB1 lockdown
Yeah.
corner, but I do think he's very good.
Yep.
If Turner can step up, it'll elevate the whole room. I'm not certain he can. I think he might also have the ceiling of a CB2, which I'm not complaining about. A lot of teams don't
Right.
have a true CB1. Um,
Yeah.
but it does limit the overall picture. Mike Hilton is Mike Hilton. We love him. He's
Yeah.
great. He's getting older. I do expect he'll fall off at some point, but I still think he's one of the best players on the team. Dax Hill's a non entity for me. They're going to try him out there. I think it's a last Hail Mary play. If it works, it works, but I don't expect it to.
Yeah.
I kind of think if we see him, something's gone horribly wrong. Losing Cheeto is also a non entity for me because he didn't play very good
He's-
last year. It's a
Right.
wash.
So I agree. Losing Cheeto, it's kind of a wash, And the nice thing is Cheeto getting hurt 2 years in a row. It helped or it helped CTB kind of get ready, and it
Yeah,
may have helped DJ Turner get ready as well. Um,
sure.
Dax Hill is really interesting to me because I don't know how he's going to be used. I would assume that he's going to be used in the slot, but because that's what
They
he did in
said
college.
outside corner.
I don't get that. I just, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
They don't. Here's in my opinion. Here's my guess. If I was like, what's
Yeah.
behind the curtain? They don't expect he's going to work out there either. They just know
Yeah.
he's not going to work out at safety. So they're like, they've got him on the roster. He's an
Yeah.
athlete. Let's put him at corner. Is
I
it going
could
to work?
see
Probably not. But we got to do something with him.
I could see cool situations where they use him as like an extra rusher coming from the edge, like a cornerback or like coming from the slot. But you taking a number or a first round pick and just moving him around the secondary because you can't find a place for him to work. This is not a great look. I mean,
No, it is not.
we can sit here and hope all day long that Dax Hill works out, but
At this
it's
point,
not good.
I have no
Yeah.
faith he's going to work out. Not. I actually blame the Bengals on this one. I don't think they had a role for him when they drafted him, and so they
Yeah.
shouldn't have drafted him.
Yeah.
It is what it is now. Time has passed, but Dax Hill's a non-entity until proven otherwise.
Yeah. So I do agree. I think that it's just a wash. I think it's basically the same room as it was last year. Um, I'm gonna say B minus, B minus, B minus.
Yep.
What do you think?
I can give you that. That's fine. Yeah. I
Okay.
think I think it lowers my score a little bit, but the truth is you're right. It's B minus.
Okay. All right. And then that brings us to the last one we're going to do. And this is kind of one of the most exciting ones. It's safety. So they
Big
lose Jesse
improvements.
Bates. Yeah. They lose Jesse Bates and Von Bell heading into 2023. And they sign Nick Scott. And then they have Dax Bell. And then Jordan Battle falls into their lap. And Nick Scott was a disaster. Absolute disaster. Just did not play well at any point in the season. And then Jordan Battle came in at first at strong safety, but then excelled as the free safety while, Dax Hill kind of moved around in the box. Um, Jordan Battle was the best safety on the team last year, which is not a good thing. It's not good. That's not a good sign because he was a rookie. Um, it
Okay, we're
saves
gonna
them from
argue about
having.
that. That's an incredibly good sign.
Oh wait. Did I say Dax Hill? I'm sorry. Jordan Battle
No,
was
no,
the
no. You
best.
said Jordan Battle. Okay, but he wasn't good. He wasn't the
No,
best
no,
on
no,
the
no,
team
no. He
because,
wasn't
like,
good. Dax Hill and Nick Scott were so bad.
yeah, but you phrased it. You said Jordan Battle was the best on the team, which isn't a good thing. Jordan Battle was not the best safety we had because the other people were so bad. He was the best safety we had because he was legitimately a very good
Oh no,
safety.
no. I
He
know.
has he has high upside potential. He
I agree.
came out of nowhere, and
Yep.
my evaluation for this upcoming season thinks he's going to take another step. He
Yeah.
has the potential to be a very good member of this team.
Yes. I was going to say the only thing that saves them is Jordan Battle. So I would say F, but Jordan Battle falling to them in the slot, I think that gives them last year, I'll say D plus because Dax Hill or D because Dax Hill and Nick Scott were so bad. But then this year they bring in Geno Stone, they bring back Von Bell. Um, this could be a huge position of strength. I'm super excited about safety. So I'm going to say we know what Von Bell can do. We know what Jordan Battle can do. I'm going to say B plus. I don't know. We just don't know about Geno Stone in this defense yet. So I'll say B plus from
Yeah,
D minus to B plus.
I'm gonna go B. I'm gonna go from a D, solid D to a solid B. For all your same reasons. It should have been an F, but Battle saved them. Um, and I'm gonna call it a B because of a few things. Von Bell's a little older. I want to see how he performs. Geno Stone's new. I want to see how he performs, and I expect Battle to take a step. If Geno Stone or Von Bell exceed my expectations, this could very well be an A,
Oh yeah.
especially with
Yeah.
my belief that Battle will look even better this year than he did last year. But as of right now, I don't like to project like steps that I'm not
Mm-hmm.
certain are going to be there, especially like I don't know if Von Bell's going to be, if Von Bell takes a step any direction, it'll be backwards. The
Probably.
likelihood that he steps in and is as good as he was a few years ago is unlikely, just given his age. So it's a little hard to see where how he's gonna be and how he's gonna fit and everything else. Same with Geno Stone. That's a little easier to project. He's younger. He's more in his prime, but again, going into a new defense.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that's easy to project is Battle. So I'm giving it a B with the acknowledgement, like I could be underselling
Yeah. There's a
what this room could do.
situation. There's a situation where Battle and Geno Stone or Battle and Von Bell are the best two safeties, and there's an extra safety that's excellent, whether it be Von
Yep,
Bell or Geno Stone that's not the starter. You know what I mean?
sure.
So this went from a massive weakness in 2023 to potentially a position of strength, which is super exciting. So yeah, I mean, I do you agree?
Absolutely, I agree. Yes,
Yeah,
this is the biggest shift.
yeah,
That we made. Tight end would be a close second, but that's a shift across years as opposed to
right.
something that's going to have such an immediate impact. The biggest shift we'll see on this team is in safety play, and it'll go from a one of the worst safety rooms in the league to potentially a top 10, if not slightly better safety room.
I get it.
You can't,
I like it.
which again, we're going back. I think will
Right.
affect linebacker play. Once the linebacker play gets a little better, they're going to be a little more confident in what's behind them.
Yep.
So they're going to be pay a little more attention to what's in front of them. Suddenly the D line play gets better. This is the way defenses work: is everything supports everything. I think that the moves we made at safety could have ripple effects so that the defense actually might maybe look somewhat cohesive
Yeah,
this year.
I agree with that. So one more I want to go over with you, and I didn't make like a ticker for it. And special teams, and there's nothing really changed. I just want to get your take on Austin McNamara being in camp. And if you don't know, Austin McNamara is the punter from Texas Tech, I believe. And he was brought in as a free agent to compete with Brad Robbins, who struggled last year as a rookie. And I you can't really give it a grade because it's like I said, it's just a camp body. It doesn't really mean anything right now. Um, but as a special teams group, I think last year because the punting was bad, I think you give it a B minus. But Evan McPherson is just that good. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think it's the same, maybe B, just because we're having some competition at punter. But Evan McPherson, I think we could both agree, is one of the better kickers in the league.
Yeah.
So
I will go C
okay.
to B minus.
Okay.
With the acknowledgement that Austin McNamara actually could end up being pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's just hard to tell at this moment where he'll end up being. I think the punting was so bad last year that it
Yeah.
drug Evan McPherson's A down into the C.
Yeah.
Uh, it is it was losing multiple downs level
Yeah.
bad at
It was
times,
bad. Yep.
where a better punter suddenly adds 20 feet, 20 yards to that field where he couldn't do anything.
And
If that changes, it would be huge.
the ironic thing about it would be is last year's the year that they need a better punter because Joe Burrow's hurt in the beginning of the season, and at the end of the season he's out. And then he
Yep.
comes back and he's full force, and then better punter hopefully is wasted because we
Yeah.
don't need it. That'd be nice. All right. Well, overall, I think that we could both agree that they're better. Right now, they're better than they were at this point last year.
They are better. They are a Super Bowl caliber team. I
Mhm.
would argue that there's no way to know where they rank yet. The idea that we see power rankings and everything right now is stupid. You got to wait
Right.
till at least week 3 before you do
Right.
power rankings, if we're being honest, because we got to see how teams gel. We all thought Irv Smith had potential.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
It is what it is. Everybody thought the Chiefs O line wasn't going to be absolutely terrible. It was.
Right.
But I would say we're a top 5 team as of right now. And
Yeah.
once you get there, that's kind of all you need.
Yeah.
Past that's pedantic. If we're talking like Bengals versus Chiefs, who cares if 55% of the time the Chiefs win? It's a coin flip on the day.
Yeah.
And that's the way it really is.
Yep.
I think that this is one of the better teams we've put out in the last couple of years, and
Yep.
it's a team that has secured our future and opened our window back up for at least the next 2.
I totally agree with everything you just said. And I do agree with you that once you build yourself a top 5 team, roster, top to bottom, coaching staff, everything, that's about all you can do. Everything else is just luck. Injury, luck, the ball bouncing your way, getting a call that you shouldn't have got, something like that. Putting yourself in the position to win is all we can ask them to do. And they've done it.
Yes, they have.
I can't ask anything else. So that's about it for me. What do you think? You got anything else?
That's it. I'm optimistic, man. I'm ready for football to start, which is a shame because we're in the dead zone now and there's no football to speak of whatsoever.
Nope. This is the hardest period of time of the year for this.
I know this is the only thing I want to say. I know that they're doing this on purpose. But my God, every throw Burrow makes to Burton looks so good, man. They know what they're doing. They're picking only the highlights. It's just the nature of it. There's no way their chemistry is at this level already, but every single throw is Burton at a full run, but doesn't have to even reach for the ball. It just lands perfectly every time. That's it. I get excited every time I see one. I know what they're doing. I'm not an idiot, but damn, they look good.
Trying to get that season ticket to look in your wallet and be like, you know what? I think I could do it.
I mean, every year
that's what they're trying to do,
but I never do it.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, once again, we are on the Orange and Black Insider on YouTube, and then we are Believe BLEAV in Cincy. Everywhere else, anywhere you can get audio.
feed.
Yep. anywhere else you can get audio. It's Anthony Cosenza, John Sheeran on OBI. It's Willie Lutz, Matt Minich on Matt and Willie No Ball. It's Kevin and I on Three and Out, and it's Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. New Bengals content pretty much every single day. So update your audio, update your RSS feeds. Follow us on YouTube. Who Day. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week.
Who Day.